Occasionally we get very excited about a watch purchase, and for the reasons which sometimes don't make full sense to us. This Seiko S-Wave is one of those watches. Its rarity, its attention to detail and beautifully thought out design caught my attention as soon as I laid my eyes on it. Stick around as I share my excitement and delight in this latest acquisition of mine from Seiko. Welcome back, guys. If you haven't already picked up in the tone of my voice, I'm very excited with this watch purchase. It's a Seiko S-Wave and it was released in 1997 in the Hong Kong market. And back then, it didn't find much popularity. And because of that, Seiko later exported this model to Southeast Asia. Now, because of the lack of popularity back then, Seiko decided to discontinue this model. And as history shows us, they moved forward with their Seiko 5 series. This is what makes this watch so much more special. You see, 23 years later, the eyes of Seiko watch collectors have started to look at this S-Wave with keen interest and enthusiasm. The problem is, these were only manufactured for a very limited time before being discontinued. That's what makes them extremely difficult to find. To find one in exceptional condition is even rarer. Here are some of the specs of this beautiful timepiece and why I think it's an absolute masterpiece that was lost in our history. Firstly, the case diameter of this is 38mm. It features a case thickness of 11.5 and a lug-to-lug distance of 46mm. The lug width 20mm. So the size of the watch is fantastic. It's a really well spec'd watch that wears fantastic. So I'll put it on the wrist to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, there you go. So that's on my 7-inch wrist and the watch is superb. The watch's design and its profile, the curvaceous nature of the case, the brushing, it's stunning. I was instantly drawn to this watch. I was instantly drawn to the appeal of the legibility, the size, the footprint and how it wears. So let me explain a few things about this watch. Firstly, let me start by saying that this particular watch features the 7S26A movement, and this is one of Seiko's first 7S26 movements that they ever released, and this makes it very desirable and very rare amongst collectors. You see, this is a 23-year-old watch, and the first thing that I did when I got the watch is I put it on my time grapher just to see if it's healthy, and I was pleasantly surprised. It features a 7S26A movement, like I said, and on the time grapher, this is giving me results of an amplitude of 265. It gains 4 seconds per day with a beat error of 0.2 milliseconds. That's exceptional for a 23-year-old watch. And look, the watch is in exceptional condition. It looks like it was probably purchased, set aside, maybe used once or twice and then set aside. So it hasn't seen much use, but that's a testament to you know, a 23-year-old watch that you can, 23 years later, it's still beating healthily. It's hardly been used, but it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful testimony there. Now, the dial on this is fantastic. The dial, as you can see, it's bold, it's legible. In fact, it's a contagious looking dial. It's stunning. You just want to look at it. Yeah, the contrast between the red and the white markers and hands and so forth. You just want to look at this dial. It's such an attractive piece. Now, it features the beautiful S-Wave logo at the bottom there. It has a day-date complication exactly at 4 o'clock, and that the angle at which that comes out matches up with the crown, which is wonderful. So I think the design concept and what they've done with this is remarkable. It's wonderful. It features a signed crown. It features a signed crown. Some of the stuff that Seiko stopped doing in their bottom-end watches. So the things that this thing has got going for it is incredible. It's got 100 meters of water resistance. As you can see at the back, it has an exhibition case back. So, the combination of brushing and high polish, as well as there's a nice high polish bevel at the bottom, I think Seiko should really look back at some of their older watches. They've done some great ingenious designs, and these got lost. These got lost in over the years, you know, with the general public. We seem to have missed certain, or maybe we just took them for granted. Maybe we just took certain watches for granted. We thought, oh yeah, they're always going to be releasing things like this, and this is a wonderful timepiece. Now the strap, as you can see, is a engineer's bracelet, and I swapped this out myself. It's a 20 mil. Solid end links, all the rest, and the watch originally came on a black leather strap, which was nice, but I wanted to do something different. Look, just to pay homage to the beautiful brushing and the beautiful stainless steel, I wanted to add a little bit more stainless steel in there, and I think it looks really nice. It looks the part. And look, being a red watch, this is making a bold statement. You know, it's for someone with a bold personality. It's unique. It's different. It's swimming against the tide. This particular watch is swimming against the tide. You know, there was a variety of colors in this series called the S-Wave, and they started with I think orange, black, green, yellow, and red. And for me, the red is exceptional. The red, the tone of the red. I don't know if you can see it if the video is going to do this justice, but the tone, the particular color, and the contrast with the white is just perfect. It's perfect. It's easy to look at. It's easy to read, but it's a fun watch. It's a fun retro watch, and I really like that. So, you know, what makes a watch like this very special is the fact that you're not going to be seeing many of these on the wrists of people, only because of the fact that they were discontinued so quickly. Basically, they'll discontinue just as quickly as they began production, and that makes this watch special. And I like it. I really like it. I wanted to share my excitement, guys. I wanted to share my enthusiasm. It doesn't matter what we buy, whether it's expensive or cheap. This was not an expensive watch. I've seen a couple on eBay at the moment. They're around they're probably fetching around the $350, $400 mark in a secondary market, but there's not many of them around. And condition-wise, there's a few nicks and scraps and so forth here and there. This is in pristine condition. This is in mint condition, and like I said, you're not going to see this on many people's wrists. Even the other color variants, they're relatively rare to find, especially if people didn't, you know, hold on to them, whether they used them or broke them or scratched them and just tossed them out. They weren't an expensive release back then. A wonderful design, a wonderful timepiece, and I think, like I said, mostly overlooked by the general public back then. And today, collectors are starting to seriously look at a watch like this, only because the watch itself is different. The watch itself, it's not a Seiko 5, it's an S-Wave. It has a signed crown, you know, a funky, you know, angle on their day-date complication. So things are different. Seiko did something really different with this, and you know, today we're starting to appreciate it. Today we're starting to look back in our history and say, hey, this is nice. Can I find one? So I'm glad I found it. I like this watch. I really like this watch. So thank you for watching, guys. I wanted to share my excitement, and feel free to give me your comments, you know, your thoughts. If anyone has any experience with this particular watch, there's not much out there on the internet. There's not much information either, so feel free to comment, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.